Long ago, in the land of Israel, two great armies faced each other across a wide valley. Both waited for a battle that would change history. From the Philistine army stepped forward a giant warrior. His name was Goliath. He stood over 9 feet tall, and his armor gleamed like bronze in the sun. Day after day, the giant shouted across the valley, "Choose one man to fight me. If he defeats me, we will serve you. But if I defeat him, you will serve us." The soldiers of Israel trembled with fear. No one dared to face the giant warrior. Even the bravest soldiers stepped back. Far from the battlefield lived a young shepherd boy named David. He spent his days caring for sheep and trusting in the Lord. In the quiet fields, David played his harp and sang songs to God. His heart was filled with faith and courage. One day, David's father gave him a task. "Take this food to your brothers at the battlefield," he said. So David set out on the long journey. David walked across dusty roads and rolling hills, carrying supplies for the soldiers. Soon, the sounds of the army camp filled the air. David arrived at the camp of Israel. Soldiers rushed back and forth, preparing for battle. But something was wrong. Suddenly, a thunderous voice echoed across the valley. It was the giant Goliath, challenging Israel once again. David listened in disbelief. "Why is no one fighting him?" David asked. "This giant is defying the army of the living God." The soldiers looked at the young shepherd in surprise. Soon, David stood before King Saul, the ruler of Israel. "I will fight this giant," David said bravely. The king looked at the young boy with doubt. King Saul placed his heavy armor on David, but the armor was too large and too heavy. David removed the armor and said, "I cannot fight like this." Instead, he trusted in what he knew best. David walked to a nearby stream and chose 5 smooth stones. With his sling in hand, he prepared for battle. Step by step, David walked toward the giant warrior. The battlefield grew silent. Everyone watched. When Goliath saw the young shepherd boy, he burst into laughter. "Am I a dog," he mocked, "that you come at me with sticks?" But David stood firm. "You come to me with sword and spear," he said, "but I come to you in the name of the Lord Almighty." The giant began to charge. David ran forward, spinning his sling high above his head. With one powerful swing, David released the stone. It flew through the air like lightning. The stone struck the giant in the forehead. Goliath staggered and fell to the ground with a mighty crash. The giant had fallen. For a moment, the battlefield was silent. Then the army of Israel shouted with victory. The Philistines turned and ran. The young shepherd who trusted in God had defeated the giant. David became a hero of Israel. David was not the strongest. He was not the tallest, but he had something greater, faith in God, and that faith defeated a giant.